deformity and death. He came to save you. There's no way to justify murder. There's absolutely no way. In the name of Jesus Christ, in Yeshua HaMashiach, you guys will see him and he will judge you. But you have the blood of Christ for the remission of your sins.
He sacrificed his kid.
Just take this,
He sacrificed his kid. Pro-death. He judged you for my sins.
Can I ask you where in the Bible does it say abortion is okay?
First of all, God defines breath of life at Genesis 3:26-7. And then he sacrificed his only begotten son at 3:16 for greater good. When we sacrifice these was ourselves at the point of greater good. And also after this, when he sacrificed the firstborn.
But he was a sinless man. He had to die on the cross. Because you deserve to die on that cross. I deserve to die. We all deserve
God also says in his own statement, he gave us free will. Yes or no?
We do have free will.
And when you oppose free will, you're opposing God. You're saying that you're superior than God. God is all superior than you. Get the fuck out of my face.
Sure, I could go out and kill a man, but I mean, I have the free will to do that. Does it make it right?
When you lie, when you judge, when you repent against others, that is same as murder. God defined it. You're not better than God. You will never be superior to God. I pray one day you wake up.
I just want you to know I love you. I'm praying for you. I hope you learn the truth, the real Jesus, and I'm praying for you. And I want you to know I love you.
God bless you.
God bless you. All right.
God bless you. This is a child that has 2 arms, 2 legs, a heart, and a brain. And that's what happens when you abort a child. It's not an imaginary figment that disappears. This is a real child with real consequences. That's the thing though, we're not going to judge you. We're telling you that you have a chance. You have a chance at everlasting life because Jesus Christ died for us and sinners. He died on the cross for murderers. I don't know if you've heard all in the Bible, but he used to persecute Christians. And God showed himself to him and he became one of the greatest evangelists. And that's the message for anyone here today. God loves you and has a plan for all of you. He has a plan for all of you. Each and every one of you, God knew you before you were born in your mother's womb. God knew your very own creation. He knows all the hairs on your head. You have such a loving Father who wants to redeem and restore you. And that's the thing, the world brings no comfort. All of these things we're fighting for can be a true distraction from salvation.
Anybody want to debate without any screaming?
I used to be on the other side.
Anybody want to debate without any screaming and like a real honest civil?
Men have no opinion and no choice, but they honestly do because it takes us.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time.
To create a child. Men do.
You guys seem cool. You guys seem cool. No, you guys seem. You guys don't seem like. You don't seem like you're screaming, and you seem happy to be here. You don't seem like you're. You don't seem like you're screaming.
I just don't think anything's gonna happen arguing over here.
Yeah, but
I'm just curious where those pictures came from.
Okay,
you know?
I want to get your side of the argument too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. I'm not very researched.
Sorry, where is this?
YouTube. Paul Revere News. I'm starting a news channel.
Everyone has a struggle.
If you guys don't want to be in the video,
I just don't want to be on like a conservative channel.
I don't care.
I'm libertarian. I'm very neutral, you know. Except I disagree with abortion, but I want to hear what you have to say.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll talk. I mean, I just don't think like if you guys can think it's wrong to like question the government have to say. Like that's like the bottom line. It's like the government's kind of incompetent to begin with, so I give it more say over more shit. I think a libertarian. If you're saying you're libertarian, isn't that kind of the viewpoint we're going off of? It's like the government having say in all this shit is kind of the issue. Because everything the government touches, it kind of turns to shit. Now,
what defines a human though? What defines? See, that's the real question here. And at what point is it the embryo when it's a cluster of cells? That's what I've always wondered.
I don't think that's the question.
Yeah, the question isn't that.
That's not what we're trying to say. What we're trying to say is we should have the right to have access to it.
Why should people who don't have a background in the medical procedures? And actually, what happens is when there are no resources to abortion, abortion's still happening. Like that picture that's over there is going to happen, truly, which is not what happens. That picture's going to happen still.
It's going to
just won't
happen
be
regardless,
regulated.
is what you're
Just won't-
saying.
Exactly.
Regulated.
People are going to die.
More people are going to die. And if we really care about who's a human, then why don't we provide them food and free health care and once they are born?
Why don't we make the adoption system better so we don't have to have
Sure,
abortion?
all of that. I mean, the
You know?
point is we shouldn't be dealing
Yeah,
with
but the thing is, those systems that make it better aren't in place yet.
Yeah, we don't have it.
So until those systems are put in place,
Yeah.
this is what we're going to ask for.
That's a very intelligent argument. It's the most intelligent argument I've heard all day.
Well, you can share it with those folks over there.
I mean, I disagree. I think
Oh, sure.
because of the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and, you know, I do believe that there's something living in there, whether you believe it's a human or not. You know, I do.
What kind of, sure, that's fine. But what kind of life is it? It doesn't matter. The life is going to be created by the people and the resources that there are to care for them. Hey, if the baby is so sick that they're not viable, then who's going to provide the resources to pay for that?
And that seems rational, and I don't know enough about how common that is, and that's very
Do you know what the
interesting.
common is? The rate of
Argument.
I mean, so for example, there was a woman who shared that at 20 weeks, there was a woman who shared that at 20 weeks she saw that the mother found out that the kidneys of the child were not viable. If you don't mind just knocking in my face. The kidneys were not viable, so the mom had to choose: does she want to carry a baby who's going to come out dead to term, or put her life in danger?
So it's gonna be dead anyway.
Exactly. So, I mean, forget all of that. I'm giving an example to get
Like not those situations. To prioritize the embryo, the fetus, or whatever, over the mother's life, because it's like life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But when we take away this, there's an issue going on. One being has to be prioritized over the other, and what I believe is, it is sad that it has to happen, but the mother's life and the mother's pursuit of happiness is much more important than this right now. And I think the mother needs to be prioritized because the government needs to support half of its population.
And going off of it, think about how hard it is. Like, there's nothing like a mother's bond. If a mom chooses to actually get an abortion, it's an insanely hard decision for her. And so that you have to trust that was only happening because for some reason she had to do it. For her health, for the baby's health, for society, you know, whatever it is.
A lot of the times the reason is there's not proper things to support the woman after. Like you guys are like, oh, have the child. It's so easy to like support it afterwards. No, it's not. Like you tell them to have the child and then leave them just to fend for themselves. And then it completely destroys their lives, completely destroys their reputation.
We were having this. I was having this conversation. But he was had a different perspective. He was pro-life, but we were talking about how the system. You know, we were having a conversation how the systems are failing, and how there's not a good quality of life for low-income children. And that's an issue, and I feel like that's why their side they view it as some form of genocide. You know,
Then they shouldn't have one.
it's open
Don't have an
for,
immersion.
but I think it's open for discussion.
I mean, the actual...
And we should make it better so that way people don't feel like they have a need to that. And I've been trying to explain to pro-lifers, you know, we should make the quality of life for the people better. It's an economic
There's
issue.
so many reasons for abortions. We can't just assume it's just because of that. The whole point is that the government should be out of it because abortions are going to happen, right? The government should be out of it. If they don't want to have an abortion, they don't need to.
I feel the same way about gay marriage, you know. I'm a Christian. I'm not some crazy Trump or conservative, so don't worry. But I'm a Christian, so you know I feel the same way about gay marriage. Like I feel like the government should stay out of it, but at the same time I don't agree with it being in my churches. But churches are allowed to do that, you know.
Yeah, that's great. You don't have it in your church. You don't.
Exactly. It's similar to that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty rational. Instead of the all screaming and stuff. Thank you for not screaming at me.
I mean, the screaming comes from a place of frustration, of feeling like they're not being heard. A lot of people have tried to have civil conversations, and they feel like they're being disrespected and looked down upon. And a lot of times, the only way these people feel like they're being listened is by screaming. And then sometimes the other side will take the fact that they're screaming and say they're not being rational.
I could understand.
They're just being very frustrated. And maybe the screaming, the power behind that, should give more emphasis to what they're saying, because there's so much pain behind the.
I could understand that, but at the same time, I think there's a difference between screaming angrily and yelling and being like, I'm happy to be here and support a cause, you know. And I actually saw some dude throw like a rock or something at somebody. I didn't think, and a group of anger, you know, they were rogue or something. The rest of you guys seem pretty cool though. You know, they just have a different opinion than what I would have, but I'm interested. You know, that's why I'm here. I came all the way from Aurora.
I think the big thing is that, like, look, everybody who doesn't want to have an abortion still doesn't. It's not like they're lies forcing people to have abortions. It's just saying that people can decide for themselves.
If you want to limit abortions, make it easier for women to support themselves. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you know, like things like fraternal leave and everything. You know, women should probably get at least $1,000. I think, you know, they should get $1,000 a week. Your child is taken care of. You know?
Yeah, I mean, these women are left with no option.
But would that encourage women to have more babies too? There are some people that abuse the system.
And no matter what,
have you ever taken care of a child?
No, but I could see how women could abuse that.
Do you know how hard it is to take care of a child?
What I would say though is, even if it did result in a spike in births, it would result in a spike of support for women, and I think that in and of itself is a cause.
I don't think anyone would have a child costs way more than $1,000.
I'm good with children though.
It's way more work. I don't think anyone would have an extra child just because they're going to get $1,000.
I can't speak on that. I never had a child, but I'm good with kids though. You know, my best friend is a father.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, I think your point was saying that the government needs to support new mothers better, and I think that is a good point.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the shortage right now in baby formula?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, there's literally no baby formula available. So while people are saying don't have abortions, okay, well, where are people going to get the food for their babies? There's a nationwide shortage where parents are trying to make the baby formula at home because there is no baby formula for their kids. So how does anything that make sense, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. You want to get rid of it, but you don't want to make women's lives better, too. Yeah, there has to be a happy medium in order for, there has to be compromise.
Yeah.
There just needs to be respect, and there isn't any right now. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of respect for these people.
I still feel very strong on the abortion issue.
Sure, that's fine. I guarantee you know somebody who had an abortion that you don't know had one.
But
And that you love.
Yeah.
Oh, I do, yeah. My grandmother.
Oh,
Yeah.
so, and you don't have to read that she had one, but the fact is that that she could have been very much harmed if it wasn't the case or whatever.
I know she felt very guilty about it on her deathbed, you know. She didn't feel happy about it. It's not something to feel happy
I know
about.
people, that's the thing is that nobody feels happy about doing it, so you have to expect that someone would only choose to do it if they absolutely
That's
felt
actually-
it.
And no one wants to get an abortion. We're not fighting for the right to get abortions because like abortions are fun.
No.
Yeah, some people do feel that way. Some people are like,
I think that's such a minuscule.
they're the minority. I think they're a minority of the movement, though. I could tell.
Yeah,
there's
I
a
think
stigma.
I think to the point where it's like irrelevant.
There are way more women suffering who have had abortions suffering in silence from how painful it is.
Yeah. This is like us fighting for the right to get chemotherapy.
Would you believe they actually, I've been a part of 360 Days for Life, and that's like a prayer thing that the pro-life people do at the Planned Parenthoods.
What do you believe that I used to be?
But they tell us the same thing, that, you know, it's not, that the mother is usually is traumatized from that, and that it's not that they want to do it, you know, it's that they feel urged to, you know.
It's not even urgent. I feel like they don't have a choice otherwise.
Yeah. I think
What do you
adoption.
think about vasectomy?
Adoption is. I believe in the vasectomies. I think that's that's an acceptable form of birth. I believe in birth control and all that. Even the morning after pill. I don't. If it's the embryo, I don't think it's a child. I think, you know.
Well, I
That's
admire
fair.
you having an opinion
Thanks for having the
and
conversation.
conversing with people. I hope, especially she could have opened your eyes to some other things.
Yeah, and I'm glad we could agree
You're the one that has
on some issues, you know.
You're the one that has experience.
And that's what a healthy debate is about, you know. And you don't get a lot of that this day and age, and I appreciate it.
You said you're on YouTube?
Yeah, Paul Revere News Network. It's all one word.
Paul Revere News Network. Just type that in.
Yeah. I came here because I felt like I wasn't getting your side of the story enough, you know.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you reached out.
And I really want to be objective, you know.
Just make sure her face is blurred. I don't care about that.
Yeah, if you don't mind, please.
Oh, sure thing. I'll blur it for you.
Paul Revere, what?
We weren't live because the live stream wasn't working, so don't worry. Yeah.
They ask you to.
Okay. Yeah, all one word. Yep. I'm out of Aurora.
Aurora?
Yep.